Yo, it's your boy Tug from We Make Best, and I just wanted to yap about my speculations on all the new heroes that just got revealed, because no joke, these motherfuckers look pushed. So let's get straight into it. So even though I am known as the funny wizard guy, I'm actually most excited for Florian. It seems like I'm excited for different reasons to most other people, but yeah, so to explain, I'm most excited for him because he's probably going to be taking the mantle of the OTK Viscerai, like the Looming Doom type of deck, and he's going to be a clear upgrade to the style because there's some clear differences in Florian's hero techs compared to Viscerai's, where Viscerai, he actually had to keep multiple cards to be able to get the extra rune chant each turn. So essentially you have to like use life with cards that you'd rather have blocked with. You essentially had to like keep them in order to only create one extra rune chant off your hero ability, while Florian gets to get around all of that with just a static effect, and all of the key cards are affected by this. And I mean all of them, like literally all of them. So I'm talking about cards like Blessing of the Occult will just make 4 off the bat. Read the Runes, just a 1 card, make 4 rune chants. Reduce the rune chant is going to block 4 and then create 2 in your opponent's turn. Like Runeblood Incantation, this is going to make 2, 2, and then 2. This, if you play this off Tunic, it's just 1 card makes 6 rune chants, which is, look, I don't even have to say that, it's insane. Like you can just fill that in yourself. And then on top of all those, obviously we can tutor out these tutor effects with Sonata Galaxia. I do expect some more auras to come out in this set. So I'm expecting Galaxia stonks to go like through the roof. Shout out to Stackswell, probably going to see this on a video on this next video. And then obviously the best thing to search out of Sonata Galaxia is Looming Doom to essentially double the damage of all rune chants that you have and just start putting your opponent on a clock nice and early, or you're playing defensive. I think it also makes so much sense because you don't want to be playing an aggro Channel Mount Heroic version of this deck and try to end the game before you turn your hero ability on, because you will need around 11 specific cards if you consider that he's going to need 8 or more earth cards in the banish zone. So you're going to need to draw 8 earth cards to put them into your graveyard, and then you're also going to need around 3 decompose cards if the effect doesn't change. So you're going to need around 11 cards, specific ones, before you can turn your hero ability on, and that's turn 3 already. But obviously depending on the ratios and like what they print next, it will come down to that. So I'm expecting some equipment pieces. Maybe equipment pieces would help a lot with this, to just be able to turn on this hero ability really fast, maybe like a headpiece or something. But yeah, to talk about that decompose, because this clause right here, if this doesn't change, you may banish 2 earth cards and an action card from your graveyard when you decompose. So essentially you could banish 3 earth cards, if I'm reading that right. 3 is not divisible of 8 though, so it's always going to be, you will need 3 of these cards, and like I said, you're going to need to banish 8 earth cards to turn on that hero ability. So I'm expecting it to be pretty slow. Around turn 3 to around turn 5, you'll probably be able to turn it on, given if we're able to get some like equipment pieces. So right now it obviously doesn't look like you'd be able to get it turn 3. It probably, if you put it into a calculator, it will just straight up tell you like 0% or some shit, like 1%, say 28 hand size. So this will be our turn. So turn 3, you would have seen 12 cards, and we're going to need 11. Wait, this will just say 0. Yeah, okay. Well, that was just a waste of my time, but yeah. So I'm super excited. All these equipment pieces are probably subject to change, depending on what we get out of Rosetta. But yeah, Scepter of Pain, the on hit to make 2 rune chants. Grasp of the Arknight, probably not going to be good when you're stacking the rune chants. It is good on, no, it wouldn't be. But yeah, Ninth Blade, I love just Ninth Blading people. Oh, and this is also another thing I wanted to talk about, was Thistle Bloom and Germinate are the biggest indicators to me that this will be his playstyle, as opposed to an aggro CMH type of deck, because you wouldn't want to be running these type of cards when you're playing CMH. Like you play CMH, attack with Rabble, attack with Snatch with Go Again or some shit, and then end your chain on Germinate. Like that's not a winning play in an aggro deck. And same as Thistle Bloom, like create 1 rune chant and then gain 1 life. I don't think that's going to work unless we are a defensive deck and then just playing out these sigils. And yeah, like I said, you should be able to just play a really defensive start game, block with all your earth cards, draw into your decompose while you're setting up rune chants, eventually cash in all those rune chants to just smack them. I'm gonna guess that you want to play a Looming Doom before you start decomposing, just to double the damage of all those early. Start decomposing those cards so you don't waste all the rune chants. Start sacking again while you have this Looming Doom ticking. I think his playstyle is going to be super cool and like very, very similar to the OTK Viscera deck. So yeah, super excited for Florian. Alright, let's start off with the first wizard with Verdance here because, look, I don't know if people understand how big of a deal this is. So, like, 40 health on a wizard hero is kind of illegal. So, for people that maybe they don't have as many games with Storm Striders as I do, I'll try to explain it, but essentially, like, Striders almost works like Kodachis in a sense, when you're able to Kodachi lock your opponent in the late game, and like when they're forced to just give you cards and then they can't really play the game and then you just rinse repeat. It's the same thing with Storm Striders, except with Striders, the kill range isn't 1 life like Kodachi, it's like 10 life. So it's very good when you consider stuff like Red Emeritus Scolding into Waning Moon as just a threat to finish, just Striders into this, into Waning Moon, if your opponent ever gets low. And then so the way that they counteracted this was they made all of these wizard cards super below rate, right? So like this is a 2-card 5, which is actually good in Kano. But yeah, so if she's not subject to have to play all of these, instead if the Verdance is able to play just a nice value game of Fiendel's Fine Spirits, Scar for a Scar maybe, even just like a Red Autumn's Touch because it swings for good. This Earth form's going to be insane in her to create an embodiment of Earth token. Essentially, like, she will win by just playing at an equal value with her opponent. And that in itself is just insane. That's kind of illegal. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very scared for Verdance on release. If her win con is to just play at an even state with her opponents, because in the end, as soon as it gets to life totals like 10 to 10, like the game's locked just because Storm Striders exist. Just sitting on an Emeritus at the end, like, I don't know how they can win, because think of it like this. If we get to that end game with the life totals 10 to 10, this is Verdant's hand, this is their hand, and then you just swing like a 2-card Fiendel's Fighting Spirit coming in for 7, well, your opponent has to block it because they'll die just straight up to the arcane damage if they don't. So all of a sudden they give 2 cards, they've got 2 cards for their own turn, they probably still chip, take 1. At the end stage as well, we're probably gaining 1 or some shit, and then that's gonna ping 1 as well, and then they're down to 8. And now all of a sudden they have 2 cards, maybe they have an arsenal. What, are they going to pitch this card to swing with this card, and then they have 1 card left, probably none floating. I don't know if they're trying to Arsenal a blue, because if they do try to Arsenal a blue, this situation next turn is going to be worse for them. But if they try to hold up the blue to save their life, like, I don't know, they just get blocked and then it just gets rinse repeated, and then just swing another Fiendel's Fighting Spirit or another Autumn's Touch or an Earth form, or maybe you swung with those ones last turn and now you just block that efficiently, and then like you just get Striders locked as soon as it's an equal game 10 to 10. Like, I'm very scared. Probably everyone already has felt it from Bulllander back in the day if you were playing back then. But it's going to be a very similar thing to that, but minus the disruption, I'm guessing. Instead, it's just going to be straight value and life gain. And yeah, so I just did a run and we haven't even talked about a hero ability yet as well. I guess I kind of mentioned it there, but it's going to probably be another slow one, just like how I was talking about with Florian, where probably around turn 3 to turn 5 will finally get turned on. Maybe it'll be even later than that, but I think the hero ability might be a little bit too bad if it takes a little too long to activate these hero abilities. But whenever you gain 1 life during your turn, this is a key part, you may deal 1 arcane damage to an opposing target. So you can shoot anything, which is not important right now, but it would have been nice back in the Dromar meta. But yeah, this ability is just like the cream on top. It's like you just squeeze extra value out of all these cards, like Fighting Spirit, just swing for 7, gain 1, but deal another 1. So it's just a 2-card 9. Heart of Fiendel, I just pitch this and I get to ping you for 1 and gain 1. So like 5 value just for drawing this card. Just for drawing it, I get 5 value out of this game. Heartbeat, this one's actually kind of cool. Her specialization will just 2-card 6 because you'll gain 3, deal 3, but it has go again and you'll have 2 floating. So imagine doing this into a CNC. I probably should put CNC in this and probably E-strike as well. But yeah, just another like huge value. I love it when like LSS prints cards like this as well, like the blue cards. So you pitch them early, you know you're going to see them late game and they have really high impact when you get there. I love this type of build with cards. There's like a lot of cards like this. And then obviously the really easy ones to shout out, Sigil of Solace, just a nice gain 3, deal 1 to you. I keep seeing a lot of people talking about Oasis, but yeah, that's why I pointed out that the key word there is during your turn. Probably not Oasising much on your own turn, especially while you're at a lower life. So if you have Oasising on your own turn, it'll be on a wildfire or something. But yeah, I'm scared, bro. If these pings, like, there's so many ways you can actually abuse these pings from all your life gain, in the sense that in the early game, your opponent doesn't really want to give up tempo, right? And just start A-Bing the pings unless you're going to do like 3 of them and they can get 3 value out of a blue, which is on rate. Like, that's great. But if you're only doing like 1 random ping, maybe 2 pings during a turn, they don't really want to give a whole card to block 2. Like, that's below rate. They don't want to do this. And then you start winning at that point. But if they don't block it, they're just slowly getting whittled away, and then you're going to start winning on value with your just 2 card 7s that they just slowly start getting chipped and chipped and chipped. If they try to play it slow and like block out and see if like they can extend the game out, well, maybe that's the reason why it's going to turn on your hero ability in the first place. Or maybe they try to get aggressive. Well, your opponent can't take 7 that many times. Like, you can only take it a certain amount of times before these Striders tax, like, it's not paid for on our side. Like, we're about to just Striders bomb you. So it's looking crazy to me, bro. It's looking real crazy. Yeah, and if you're not going to block, like, just Earthform, just gain some... Wait, Earthform, get the embodiment. And like this, that just gain some life. CNC to like disrupt you when you're trying to not block. Like, Verdance is a menace right now. I'm really scared to see how like she turns out, because yeah, she is looking strong. But yeah, that's my take on it right now. Let's go to the next though. Let's go to the next. Alright, next up, let's talk about Aurora. So once per turn instant, pay 2 resources, create an embodiment of lightning token. Activate this only if you've played a lightning card this turn. So very interesting thing. I thought the hero ability seemed pretty underwhelming on reveal, but obviously when you consider that if you're able to pitch a blue to the hero ability and then also swing with a 1-cost weapon at the end, essentially all your blues are just 3 damage plus give something go again, but it's a little bit better because it's an embodiment of lightning token, so you can even save that go again for the next turn. So there's a lot of value and flexibility in that. But obviously the first thing I'm thinking of is just the old Briar list. Like, what was the most broken things that you used to give go again to? And that just used to be like CNC, E-strike, 1 card hand, draw a card, so it's just 5 by itself, like 1 card 5. Snatch is another culprit. Coax a Commotion was another really good one. Not too sure if you want to be running it in Aurora, because the biggest upside with Coax was you would do it on a Channel Mount Heroic turn. So swing it in for 7, let your opponent draw a 3 block or even a 4 block at that point if they draw a sink or something. But we're going to draw a 0 for 7, which is obviously much better, and then we win out on that trade. So no Channel Mount in here, but instead we have what I have seen people call Plunder Valley, and for pretty good reasons. This card's very good. Not only is it a lightning instant aura, so you can flash it in when your opponent tries to block 3 on your Rabble for 4 or something. You'll be able to essentially straight away trade itself back. It's very easy to keep this around for not only 1 turn, but maybe 2 turns, especially if we're going to be running some more bigger cards like Command and Conquer and abuse them that way. Yeah, this card, like, I don't even have to explain. So like off the bat, if it replaces itself 1 time, it's already an upgrade, because the looming threat of on hit draw is like the upside of it if you are able to flash it in, which you should always be able to flash it in to a favorable position for yourself because it's an instant. I've seen that you can do like Sigil of Suffering and stuff and like ping your opponent and on their turn to be able to draw another card. I think it's a little bit iffy. Like, it might be a mirror breaker if you do that, like block 4 on their turn because they're not bringing in AB, they don't want to block anyway. ping them for 1, draw a card. That seems very good. I think that would be a mirror breaker, but it would be very reliant on each other because the cards by themselves, well, this card's very good by itself, but Sigil of Suffering by itself is like a little bit iffy. You don't want to be drawing that when you have full tempo, especially in an aggro mirror. So that's why I don't have it in here, but it is a consideration. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The thing is as well, if you just fill this deck with the blue lightning cards that are in the class pool right now, the deck is not only playable, but I would like argue that the deck is actually better than a lot of current deck lists in the game right now. Like, it's better than a lot of the heroes that you could be playing right now that are legal. And we're talking with a hero that card pool isn't even out yet. So yeah, I think Aurora is going to be pretty good going forward. I've always been a huge fan of Lightning Press. I thought Lightning Press was one of the most broken cards when I first started the game. I was just like, how the fuck? But obviously that's because I played Kano and I have no D-Reacts back then. So but with that said, it's still a very good card. Lightning Press is even better here because it's a lightning card to turn on your hero ability. So it can be the reason that it activates, just going like Ravenous Rabble off the bat. If you need some way to give like your next attack go again, now you just lightning press it for a 7, activate your hero ability, swing with like an E-Strike, draw a card, so cycle your arsenal, whatever, end off on Reaping Blade. Really nice, efficient, just clean turns. And yeah, it seems, I love it when decks have a lot of instants like this in an aggro deck. So similar to Zen, it feels rewarding when you're playing. I know it doesn't feel rewarding against Zen when you're versing it and you just get blown up for 30, but it feels rewarding when you're playing it. Like, at least at the start it was like that. So, but yeah, I suspect probably not something similar to Zen, but something really fun, like a nice engaging aggro deck, which is what I like to see going forward. But yeah, not much else to talk about with her. Just a standard like Briar type Cheerio Runeblade type of deck that, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing. Alright, but we got last but not least, we have Oscilio over here. So once per turn instant, discard an instant, draw a card on a lightning wizard with 36 life. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with this hero, bro. Once per turn instant, discard an instant, draw a card. So obviously people have read discard an instant and also draw a card and instantly think of Brainstorm. I have to urge people to remember, as someone that's probably played, I'm probably like top 3 people on Earth that have played the most Brainstorm. You win by Blazing Aether, and that is a Kano spec. So unless like we get an Oscilio spec that is like a Blazing Aether, something to replace it, like the finisher that you need, I'm not sure if he's going to be a Brainstorm deck. I definitely see the synergy though, being able to discard it, to cycle it out, turn it into a 3 block. Like, I'm not saying that's strong at all, by the way. I don't think that's a very strong play when you consider this compared to like Verdance's hero ability that's probably going to deal like a nice little 6 to 9 damage, haha, 69. But throughout a game, whereas this is just going to cycle a 0 block into a 3 block so far. So I suspect that there's going to be something to do with like graveyards when it comes to Oscilio. I think like I have a pretty big suspicion for it that this is actually the important part, discard an instant, and then maybe there's going to be like a Past in Flames type shit. Because also when you check out his weapon, if you control an aura permanent with Sigil in its name, it costs 1 less to activate. The effect is very strong, but I do want to say real quick, they better not be talking about Sigil protection, because like shit, boy, I'm putting that in my fucking deck. I'll tell you that right now. But but yeah, like when you're reading this effect, once per turn instant, pay 1 amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you've played this turn. So that does sound like something like storming off, if you know what I mean. So for any of the Magic players, storming off is just being able to play a lot of cards in one turn for a certain payoff. In that game, it was like a card that had Storm, so you would shoot for 1 damage, and then that card would copy itself X amount of times, equal to X amount of times that you played spells during the turn. So I have a feeling that Sigil might be something similar to that. Maybe there's some graveyard synergy here, but I don't think it's going to be Brainstorm unless they print something specific to copy the Blazing Aether like roll from that deck and then put it into Oscilio. But yeah, I doubt he's going to be Brainstorm. So instead, we definitely have to wait to see what the fuck is a Sigil. we definitely have to see how the hell they make sense out of this hero ability, because at the moment it's your hero ability being what the fuck? Because at the moment this hero ability just being that every turn cycle maybe you can see 6 cards instead of 4. It's not draw 2, it's C6. Yeah, it seems a little bit underwhelming at the moment, but obviously we're just missing a lot of information. But with that said, there are some very cool interactions that I do want to point out. So first one to come up is with the Comet Storm Shock. So off the rep, they haven't given us the rulings on the meld ability yet. So I've been patiently waiting for this, but I'm losing my shit, bro. I need to know, because I'm pretty sure that all the meld abilities are going to make the card work exactly like Forked Lightning. What makes me think this is, if people remember, about a month ago, they did a random rules change to Forked Lightning that was absolutely just like out of the blue, made no sense. I don't know why they did it. And the only thing that would make sense of that is that, well, potentially there's cards coming out in the future that would have a similar effect. And I do think that's what meld is going to be. I think it makes a lot of sense. So whenever you meld them together, essentially what the card will say is you pay the cost, whatever, and then it just says deal 5 and deal 1 on it, similar to how Forked Lightning says deal 2 damage, deal 2 damage, and then it'll like work pretty much the exact same as Forked Lightning when considering like Oasis and all of these. There is that down buff, like the rules change was now your opponent can AB1 and AB1, which is kind of AIDS, but it's fine, I guess. So, but yeah, the thing to point out with that is he might be a pre-buff deck, which would be really cool in my opinion. So like Blessings of Aether, like just getting 6 value out of these cards to just dump on a really big spell, like he might be a go tall deck. There's a very good chance of it. Stir the Aether Winds as well, just Stir the Aether Winds. This one specifically costs 4 when you do meld it, so it's similar to Forked Lightning in the fact that you'll be able to deal, is it the same damage? It's 3, so it'll be 8 and then 4, so it's 12. Yeah, so it's the same damage as if you would do Stir Forked. No, it's more, because you do this off of a 4 card hand. Stir Forked, you need Tunic to be able to Crucible to make it 12, otherwise it's 10. So it's actually strictly better Stir Forked ceiling wise, but it's also better floor wise, because the problem with Forked Lightning, if anyone actually played that in Kano, was you needed the you needed the pre-buff effect. And if you didn't have it, you're just playing a strictly worse card than any other card possible. Whereas this doesn't have that problem. You get to play, we talked about it in the Verdance one, this is actually pretty good for Kano, just a 2-card 5. And like, you would take that a lot of the times. So yeah, I think there's a clear upgrade. I think these are gonna be working like Forked Lightning. I do need to see these meld rulings though, because like, how does it work with Sonic Boom? How does melding work with Sonic Boom? Also, like, how does Reverberate work? Like, what's the total cost of it? Can I meld it when I banish it? Like, there's so many questions going on here. So yeah, I don't want to give too much speculation. I do think this hero is going to be dope. I swear to God, if he does have like graveyard synergies and like a Pass in Flames type of card, and that's the sigil and does stuff like that, I'm super excited to play him. Maybe even more than Florian, but at this point I'm so excited for Florian. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But yeah, that'll be it for the video. If you like these speculation videos, I love making them. Tell me if you like them. Also, tell me if you think I'm tripping on any of these or just missed certain cards that have great synergies. Because yeah, I definitely love all the speculations that everybody has. And I'm super excited for Rosetta. I can't wait. But yeah, that's me. I'm outie. Peace.